What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McCray, a.k.a. Tornado McCray, across the scours of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. All right, man. So I've seen the comments from the previous video, and I got to address some stuff. We got to address this real quick. First things first, J.C. Horn, I admit I misspoke. If any of you have seen my previous videos, yes, I correctly stated that J.C. Horn was our pick, our first round pick with the 8th overall pick back in 2021. I stated that in the video before the last one, I want to say. If not that one, 2 videos ago. And in the last video, I misspoke about JC being a 4th round pick. That is on me. So I greatly apologize for that. I just honestly forgot. So I'm a man. I'll own that. 2, the trade with Dallas. If any of y'all saw or disagree with that, if you saw my whole segment, I said if we get enough compensation, I'm okay with that trade. But if we're doing a 1-for-1, I don't want that. And 3, I will admit, I did not pay attention to Ole Miss or Florida for the last few years, so that's why I didn't know much about Princely. Hence, that doesn't mean I'm not paying attention or I don't really know anything. And also, Jalen Walker's 6'1", 245 according to the combine stats. Princely 6'4", 244. To me, that is essentially the same build. However, I get why y'all said they're not the same build. I understand it. I hear you. I'm a man, and I can own that. So going forward, I will do better. But also, y'all gotta look and not automatically assume I don't know what I'm talking about. Go check the previous videos. I promise you. But that's neither here nor there, man. We're gonna get right into this. And guys, first thing I want to talk about is there was a 5-round mock draft that I saw on NFL.com by a gentleman named Chad Reuter. Now, Chad gave us these picks for the first 5 rounds, and I'm just going to list them off for y'all so y'all know. In the first round, he had us taking Tyler Warren with the 8th overall pick from the tight end from Penn State. Second round, he had us taking Kevin Winston Jr., the safety from Penn State. Third, he had us taking edge rusher Jack Sawyer from Ohio State with the 74th pick. In the 4th round, he had us taking Bilal Cone, a cornerback from Western Michigan at the 111 pick, and wide receiver Elik I'm going to mess up his name, Ayermaner from Stanford with the 114th pick. And then in the 5th round, he had us taking defensive tackle Junior Tafuna from Utah at 140. Offensive tackle Jalen Travis from Iowa State, and wide receiver Kyle Williams from Washington State at 163. With all that being said, overall, I like the balanced format of this mock draft. However, the personnel would definitely differ and change in my opinion because, as I previously stated, 1, I don't want Tyler Warren with the 8th overall pick. If we're going to use that pick for offense, I would rather we go get a wide receiver. That's my personal MO. If we are going to do that, I'd rather us go get a wide receiver. We have 6 tight ends on the depth chart already. I think that's more than enough. My personal opinion. That is not fact. That is just my opinion. So that is where I stand on that. 2, for the second round, if we're going to go get secondary help, I would much rather us get a corner or, honestly, yeah, I would just much rather get a corner to pair along J.C. Horn. If anything, for the Tyler Warren pick in round 1, I would much rather us get a corner than to go get a tight end. I'd rather us get an edge rusher, linebacker, receiver, or a corner in that first round pick. And in this second round pick, I definitely would much rather us get a corner here to pair with JC. I want a corner taken in these first 2 rounds. That's just me. The 3rd round, I have no complaints. Jack Sawyer, 3rd round, if he's available, I highly doubt he will be, but if he is, I'm okay with that. Man was a beast at Ohio State. I'm not against that, and he's a great edge rusher. The 4th round, here is where I would take our second piece in the secondary. Here's where I would take a safety and a receiver. I know Cone is a corner, and to be honest, if we do go this way, he seems to be good in situational zone coverage, not necessarily the greatest in man coverage from what I've seen on his tape, but also its tape is very limited. So I'm not fully against him, and I always believe potential is in anybody. Iron Maynard, good pick. I love taking a receiver in the 4th round here. I am okay with that. He is 6'2", which is the average height of our receiver room, so he would fit really well. He could be a threat because he was also second team All-ACC. Mans definitely could be a threat and be a problem here. 5th round, I have no issues. I love taking another D tackle. I love taking another offensive tackle, give us more offensive line help, and I'm okay with an additional receiver. Doesn't hurt. That is just me. That is where I stand. My ideal order for the draft, if I was picking, and this is off a position, not personnel, so please do not kill me, I would go in the 1st round. I want an edge rusher / linebacker, or a wide receiver. 2nd round, I would love to take a corner. 3rd round, another edge rusher, linebacker build. 4th round, yes, give me a corner and a receiver. Actually, give me a safety and a receiver here. 5th round, defensive tackle, offensive tackle, wide receiver. That is the way I'd go about that. I'm okay with that. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. What's your order? Comment that below if you have something different. And speaking of the draft, speaking of it, and I know we talked about the trade with Dallas, and a lot of y'all like the idea. Do you like a trade back for this young man? So I have seen a lot on the internet lately about Donovan Ezeraku, the defensive edge rusher from Boston College. And the man, honestly, on tape, looks phenomenal. If we decide to trade back, are y'all okay with him being the answer? Do y'all think he's the answer? Because on paper and according to all the scouts and from what I've seen, man is a round 1 level talent. Shoot, he's the T. Hendricks Award winner from this past season, which is given to the nation's top defensive end. He was a first-team All-American, and he was the ACC All-Defensive Player of the Year. Y'all want the stats from his last season? Here it goes. Man had 80 tackles, 37 solo dolo, 20 and a half, actually, tackles for loss, which was 4th in all of FBS, and he had 16 and a half sacks, which was 2nd in all FBS, plus 3 forced fumbles. Not bad. Not bad. That's great. That's great. For what he did, that's amazing. His build, he's 6'2", 248. Again, Jalen Walker, 6'1", 245. When he was weighed at the combine, that's what we got. And this is what Ezeraku's build came out to at the combine, 6'2", 248. So you got to love that. And even though he is slightly undersized, especially for like a 3-4 defense, a lot of scouts say that too, he has tremendous athleticism. And not only that, his arms are longer than Walker's or Umamielin's. I could have just called him Priceley. I could have just called him Princely. I don't know why I messed it up. But he's quick off the ball. He can slip past blocks really, really well. And if we're trading back in the draft, I still want us to take an edge rusher in that 1st round, and he could be that guy. He's very polished, very well-rounded. He knows what he's doing on the field, and he's able to just disrupt and cause havoc, man. I don't see anything going wrong with that pick. And lastly, speaking of defense, the 3rd thing we have to talk about is the head of our defense, our DC, our coordinator. Hey, Vero, got to talk to you, man. And these are our expectations for you this year. Truthfully told, this year you got to put up. It's time for you to put up. I need you to prove that last season was a fluke. And the reason why, because 2023, our defense was 4th in the league in yards allowed, in fewest yards allowed. We had a top 5, top 10 defense in 2023. And we knew our defense was carrying our team all year that year. So, last season, yes, I know, the focus one was on our offense, trying to get our offense right, trying to get Bryce right and everything. I get that. I truly do. And then, not only that, it doesn't help losing the likes of Brian Burns and Frankie Louvu to free agency, and then losing Derek Brown and Shaq Thompson to injury. That does not help us either. So I get what you had to do, bro. I get that you had to make pieces work. But now, we cannot regress. Outside of injuries, we should return to 2023 form, or at least somewhat like that. We have to. The pieces are in place for such a return. They are there, bro. And when I'm thinking about all of this, if we have another season this bad, and it's not because we are injury riddled, yo, Aviro, you gotta go. You got to go. And again, I mean a historically bad season like this past one we had. I'm not saying we have just a regular bad season. I understand. New vets, new rookies, there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some miscues. We're going to have issues here and there. It's going to happen. I understand that. So I'm not asking them to be perfect out the gate, and I get we're going to have to go through some growing pains. But we cannot have another season where we were this historically bad. And if it happens this year, Aviro, you got to go. I'll bring another coach in to run this 3-4 if that's what you want to do. But we cannot have another season this historically bad and injuries are not a part of it. Now, if players are getting injured left and right, that is not of Aviro's issue. Like, he couldn't foresee that. If players get injured left and right again and we have a historically bad season, okay, cool. That's out of our control. But if everybody's healthy, if everybody plays all 17 games, if everybody is there, and we're still this historically bad, yeah, nah. Can't do it. Will not do it. I cannot have it. But guys, that's all I have for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can get all your Panther notifications and Panther obligations and never miss a video. And if you have any thoughts on trading back, if you have any thoughts on Aviro, if you have any thoughts on that mock draft, you have your own mock draft, like I said earlier, make sure to leave it down in the comments. And again, as a host here at Panther Pride TV, I love each and every one of y'all. I welcome all the comments and criticism. I really do. And I will do better going forward. But also, come on, y'all. I have been also great at this. Well, not great. I won't say great. I do know what I'm talking about. And I do this research. And I promise I will do the best I can. Sometimes in front of this camera, we all mess up. I'm not going to be perfect all the time. I'm sorry. But I will do the best I can. But with that being said, guys, at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all of you, Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And keep pounding.